So for those of you who weren't on it, there was a webinar yesterday done by fabexpat.com. Fabien Plissier, who I've interviewed on this channel. Great guy. He really unique service. He offers really free consultation for Americans or anybody really that are looking to expat or immigrate to France and move. And he helps with every aspect of the process and is heavily connected with experts and has experts on his team. And he makes his money if you end up getting insurance through his company, which isn't like a requirement, by the way. So I love his business model because he's like, it's giving first. And so anyway, I was on his webinar about French language and culture and making the transition into French language and culture as an expat or an immigrant. And I got a follow-up email from somebody who said, hope you're well. I'm going to just put this on the screen. Hope you're well. I just completed watching the recent FAB webinar on language and culture. I found it very interesting. We have a second home in Mandelieu-la-Napoule. And essentially what he's saying here is that we really haven't tried to speak French. His wife speaks Italian fluently, but they're just jumping in to the French language and really immersing themselves. And he mentioned that he's starting an intensive beginner's course in October, which I think is a great idea. I mentioned before I have some friends who moved about the same time we did, and they did that and went from zero knowledge pretty much to being fairly fluent in about 6 months, even less. But anyway, this person said, I was wondering if you could recommend any useful AI language apps or online language groups that I could join. So I didn't want to just answer this email for the benefit of this person, but rather for you guys as well. As far as AI language apps, the truth is that any of them will work. And if you're already using AI, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's ChatGPT, it doesn't matter the version, or if it's paid, or if you're using Grok. Like I showed a video of me and my Tesla, which just released Grok in the Tesla software, where you can just use AI in the car and have it be a language tutor. And you can really customize it with the prompting, whether you're doing it on your phone and you're doing it audio, or you're texting, which I wouldn't really love to do, but if you're doing it in the car hands-free, whatever it is, any of the big LLMs all the AI chat engines are gonna work for this. But you need to make the prompting really specific. So this is what you need to do. I mean, I could shill like a bunch of different, AI language tutor apps, but I mean, you don't have to do that. Like you can just use whatever AI you're using for whatever else in AI. And what I would do is just say things like, you have to be very specific, otherwise it gets kind of garbagey. But you say things like, I like to do a scenario-based thing. So I like to focus on one lesson. So let me give you an example. Let's say that I wanted to drill the subjunctive in French. I would say, ChatGPT, I would like to get better at the subjunctive in French. I would like you to be the teacher in this lesson, and I would like you to drill me in a way that is consistent with modern language learning best practices and techniques. Please begin. You could just do that, or if you know how you want to do it, you could say something like this. I want to learn the French subjunctive. I want you to give me examples in English and ask me to translate them. If I struggle, then I want you to change over into a lesson mode where you're teaching me the basics, and then we'll return to you testing or quizzing me after I've learned the basics, something like that. I mean, just be really specific. Like it's like talking to a language tutor and telling them exactly what you want, and then it's going to be much better at doing that. Otherwise, what it will do is, this is what you're going to get if you just do it generically, like, hey, be my language tutor. It's going to do things like, oh, okay, super, what would you like to talk about today? And you're gonna be like, I don't know. So anyway, you need to lead it. And the more you lead it and the better you prompt it, the better results you're gonna get. I would highly recommend working on different things at different times. Like, do you feel like just chatting back and forth? You could do something like, for example, say, we're in a coffee shop in Italy and I want you to be the barista, and I'm gonna walk in the shop and we're gonna start there and we're gonna go back and forth. Okay, so like, you could do a scenario-based thing. Because I think contextually specific language learning is like the best, because it maps directly into real life of things you would do. Not to the exclusion of other things, because other things are really important. Like you need to understand basic verb conjugation and grammar and things like that. But I think it's like really, it's a different kind of learning where you feel more accomplished. Like it's like, oh, okay, I can actually put that into use. But we do have to drill the basics. So another one that I would recommend is help me build my vocabulary for everyday life. So I want you to just randomly quiz me on words saying them in English and asking me to translate them into whatever, French, Mandarin, Italian, whatever. I mean, this is how you get a lot of benefit out of AI language tutoring. Again, it's all about the prompting. People get frustrated with AI tools because they don't know how to prompt them correctly. And it's not like prompting isn't like programming. I mean, it is, but it's natural language programming. So just, don't stress about it. Just speak naturally. Tell it exactly what you want, and it will give you a better result. Because like people are out here, I mean, listen, a good tool, it's worth paying for a good tool, and I've done it many times. I've worked with Lingoda and LingoPie and all these other things, and lots of people do Duolingo, but you don't need to do that. I mean, you have on your phone already, your computer already, like an incredible language tutor that's improving every day, literally with each new version. And in conclusion, I just wanted to say the other thing that's great about this is for sort of gun shy people that are not ready to speak with a native speaker or even other speakers that are learning, because that's hard, especially if you're newer to the language and you haven't done that. This using AI is a great way to kind of practice in a safe way before you go to a platform like, for example, italki or HelloTalk or something like that, where you're actually going to be speaking with another person, which I do recommend doing at some point, because you're going to hear different accents and you're talking to real people and developing hopefully real relationships. So use AI for language learning. It's incredible.